When my husband and I started having kids, we were not interested in public schools. So we've spent the last 10 years looking at what else is out there. And we came across something that turned our idea of education upside down. We're on our way to go visit a school up in the mountains. We found a school where kids can do whatever they want all day. No homework, no tests, no grades. What does that even look like? We reached out to see if we could come with our own kids and see what it's like, and they gave us permission to film everything. I guess we can just park.
Here it is, guys.
Pretty cool.
Have a trampoline!
Yep.
And a sandbox!
When we pulled up, I could already see how this place could be a kid's dream. Hanny, one of the founders, greeted us when we arrived.
So does your property go all the way down to the road?
There's actually a creek that runs right across in the back, which separates it from the road. So it's perfect. We looked for a long time for a property like this.
I have frost on my bum.
Oh no!
Not good.
As Hanny showed us around, it was clear how much thought had been put into creating spaces where all sorts of different activities can happen.
Look at that board game! Yay! You want to play this one? It's really cool. It's like a fake kitchen, little kitchen, bathroom, tons of toys.
Just scoped it out, huh?
After a brief tour, he turned us loose.
So feel free to go anywhere you'd like. Talk to anybody. There are two people here that don't want to be on film.
Okay.
And I'll point them out to you.
Okay, thank you.
My child just refused to go to school one day. It was simply that. I knew when he didn't want to go to school and see his friends that it was time to make a change. So we looked up unschooling and then saw ZigZag, and they had a little video in there, and my child started crying at 9 years old because he's like, I want to go to the school.
Charter school was not the best. It's basically public school, a little better. There were some bullies there.
I dropped out mid-6th grade because I was struggling a lot with my mental health, and it changed my life for the better.
The adults here are called facilitators instead of teachers. And their role is basically to make it a great place to play and learn.
I'll do one step, like I'll put a new thing on, and then the kids will see that and get excited, and then they'll kind of finish it. Probably later in the day, if I add a few things in here, the kids will jump in and start wanting to do some more. For the last 5-6 years, I knew that something was wrong. I was working in the schools a lot. I found this last year, and it's been life-changing. In the schools, I'm bored. Not only am I bored, but I'm sick of like having to test them and make them sit down and shut up and all that stuff that they're doing all day, every day. When I'm here, I feel like I work for the kids.
No, we're giving him this special phone. No, wait, no, I'm gonna go. Are you a photographer?
Something like that.
No, pull me.
When we started this and we looked at lots of options, we went to Montessori schools, Sudbury schools, to Waldorf schools. For me, like the self-directed thing that actually does flip the script and makes the kids really in charge of their lives now is this model.
Teddy, Milo. Attack with my signal.
So what's the difference between like this and Waldorf and Montessori?
So Waldorf, like you have more activities that that are more encouraged to do. Montessori was kind of like this, except you had set times when you went outside. I like this better because it's like you can do pretty much whatever you want. Woo!
You'll see this very soon when we start. It's called the offers board. And this is basically how we set our day. We're gonna have a meeting in about half an hour or so, and we're gonna have all these things that you see in here kind of announced, talked about, and then you get to add things that you want to do as well.
Soon there was a mass migration to the main floor for Morning Circle.
I need food before I go.
These schools are called Agile Learning Centers because they use agile tools from the software world to add structure to the day. As a former software developer, I was familiar with Kanban boards, stand-ups, and retros. But our meetings never quite started like this.
Golden delicious. Gala. Macintosh. Granny Smith. I like to be in a circle.
It's an apple.
One of these a day keeps the doctor away.
It's an apple.
Ah, very good. It's an apple. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I hope you all enjoy your fruit.
Hair salon with Dana is actually going to be in the workshop today, so we're going to use this studio for the trading blanket. There is going to be a smoothie challenge. Lunch at 11:30 and then jiu-jitsu at 12 with Ken and Matthew. All right, going across for offers. Have your hand up, please. I see Sean.
Gaga ball.
Going across, Gemma.
It's pretty at 1.
Dance party at 1. All right.
After the big meeting, everyone disappeared. We didn't realize they were going to smaller meetings called spawn points, which we unknowingly interrupted.
How about you, Ashton? What are you going to get into today? A lot of drumming?
So what does the low energy people want to do?
I want to fill it.
Are you going to any of the offerings?
This one.
Oh, the improv game. I've done improv before. What are you going to do today?
I was going to a computer club.
Ooh.
Me too.
What are you doing at computer club?
Just coding. I know how to do Scratch. I know how to do JavaScript. I know how to do a lot of coding platformers. He's also going to Pokemon trading, and so am I. Japanese stuff.
The kids voted on last semester what they're interested in. So everything here is from the kids' interest. So all the stuff here are all the classes ideas that they came up with. And then we had like a whole voting system for a week. And the ones we could find a facilitator to offer are the ones that are on the board this semester.
He's done with the smoothies, I guess. As for the offerings, the kids are free to come and go as they please.
Just make sure. And I go 3, 2, 1. Let it rip.
Or not come at all.
I announced this morning, but I think until someone sees it, they don't really get it or care. So I'll just keep doing it and maybe people will show up.
I've run into the same thing with my own kids. We're all interested in different things, and we can't force our interests on each other, but we can offer to share them.
So who wants to just style their mannequin's head, and who wants to learn the first steps of hair cutting?
I'm just going to style today.
You're just going to style today? That's fine.
I'm just going to style.
That's cool.
Well, once I encountered this idea of consent, that a child has the right of consent to what they learned, that was it. Like, it went into my head and it wouldn't go out.
Sure. Do you know how to braid, or do you want me to teach you how? Sure, I can teach you how to braid.
You have to be a good teacher to be with kids when they have consent. Otherwise, they're not going to listen to you. I knew I was a better teacher than the teachers who were in charge, because they were using power all the time. I was able to teach without power, and they found that threatening. But here we celebrate that.
Just to stay in this job.
Could I try? Dad!
What?
I did 2 grades. This one was help and this one by myself.
Is this trading blanket? Meanwhile, the drama of the trading blanket was unfolding.
Everyone who wanted that would put what they would trade for it in the middle, and then I can either take my thing back or swap it with someone else's.
One child showed up with nothing to trade.
No, I can't. You can trade this, Weston.
Let's see this from Elliot. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Asher. Thank you, Elliot. You have 2 things to trade, Weston.
This was one of the most popular offerings. I know some parents who won't even let their kids do trading because they're afraid of unfair deals.
It's a Lego, and there are some Pokemon cards in here. See it?
What is that thing?
It's like a robotics kit. It has the stuff inside.
Ooh, awesome.
All right, Elliot made his choice.
Thank you.
But who decides what's fair?
It's your turn if you want to trade something in there. All right, Weston, take your pick. Cool, awesome. I love this octopus.
In this case, the kids got to decide.
10 Canadian dollars, a shell, a rock, and a bracelet.
My hair is out! No! I can't watch this. I'm taking this. It's walking away! I'm an octopus. Look, and this squirrel is taking care of this egg.
Oh,
And
what
he's
kind of egg is
keeping
it?
it in his mouth.
What's gonna hatch?
This.
Oh, a magical cube?
That's not normal. That's not normal.
One thing I loved was just how both the kids and the adults wandered around. They ate when they were hungry. They rested when they were tired. Sometimes they did things with other people, but other times they were happy being alone.
Doesn't seem bothered by the axe chopping.
Did you cut that whole thing?
Yeah, it's taken me like 4 days.
Got the big quarter and Dublin's quarters now.
Yes. Well, soldering
Oh.
gun is not heating up to wood burn yet.
I'm trying to do some word
They
burning.
named the back room Dublin's Quarters.
So I assume you're Dublin.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, legally, it operates as an activity space for unschooling families. That's another thing people misunderstand, the difference between homeschooling and unschooling. Unschooling for me is very radical because it says that we're learning all the time and that we don't have to control that process.
When we first came, he was like, well, when are we going to start learning? Because he thought he had to sit down at a desk with some paper and pencil.
I'm a former community college instructor. That's what I did before I stayed home with the kids. When they're toddlers, most people are unschooling and don't know it, right? So we just kept that approach. I feel like my children are going to hopefully retain more of what they learned because they care about it and they want to do it. And most of the time they don't even know that they're doing it. You know, they don't know that they're learning something, but they are.
Okay, there, and now we're going to show where the gunshots are coming from.
Experiencing it is key. Once you experience what kids are like when they're totally free, you never ever want to go back to top-down education. It just doesn't make sense.
I start to warn you for whatever documentary this is for. Not all kids are as smart and awesome as me.
Unschooling sounded great. And there was no doubt the kids were learning a lot. But were they learning subjects that weren't necessarily fun? Like reading and math.
When we forgive ourselves and each other, practicing acceptance.
And there's almost this angst and tension that teachers have that, you know, that you have to learn these things, or something is going to happen to you that you're not going to be successful in some way.
This has a lot of confusing words. That's fun. I can barely even read. So, here's what it says.
I feel like it just hasn't gotten in touch with the essence of that kids are people. They're come with all of the tools they need. It's kind of like walking and talking.
It says, if you do one. On the bottom says, if you do one.
Oh, I think because it says if you've seen these mews, probably if you see them, they're going to attack you.
Pokemon was face down.
If you do one, you'll survive. If you don't one, you die.
As long as they're in a rich environment, rich in opportunities and a community of different age kids and adults around them, that's what we're made for. But for some reason, there's this decision at 5 or 6 years old that no, now you have to do it our way.
3.14159, this is pi, followed by 2653589, circumference over diameter 7999323, OMG, can't you see? 8462643, and now we're on a spree. 38 and 42, now we're blue, new 7,950, and then a 2. 88 and 41, so much fun, now we're on 9,651.
Reading, writing, math, all of these things are just part of how we live our lives now, and they always come. It's just when they need them.
I don't know. Yeah. I'll just read the bottom part so that you can be equally authentic before the mirror of self and the mirror of society. Wild woman rises. Does that seem true too? Halfway.
Because there was no separation by grades, kids were able to learn at their own pace, and all ages were mixed together.
What is this?
I think we're a little too big for creativity for having
I'm in.
There was one little girl who seemed to be everywhere.
You guys are playing my tune!
Is that your tune?
I could easily imagine how much she was learning by having access to everything that was happening.
Firefighters! I remember the time a fire truck came here for us to check out the fire truck.
And since we were there, she got a crash course in filming and interviewing. If it's a red dot, it's recording. If it's a white square, it's not recording. Now it's recording.
Don't worry, Mom's got you.
Okay.
Emmy! Hello, little fella. What you doing? Tell me what you're doing today. I'm making cookies. Okay, cookies. That sounds nice. Tell me what the baby is doing.
She, I think, is getting tired, so I'm holding her. And she got a crash course in babies.
You haven't anything. You had a lot of fun. Now it's time for you to take a nap all year round. You're not sleeping. No. I have 5 1995s and 1 2021. People said that one of these can sell for like $1,000.
We discovered that this school had its own free market economy, and the commodity of choice was Pokemon cards.
Don't you only have $1? Yeah, because I spend most of my dollars on Roblox. I might be able to give you some of my Pokemon cards. And you can sell them. And they're worth, like, some of them are like even worth $100. Okay, but are you going to give me some of them today? Because I'm not going to come back to the school tomorrow. Here you go. Pikachu's all rich. Can make you rich. I could be rich if I sell some of these Pokemon cards. You can sell that. Then you get some more dollars. I got a $2,000 card from Teddy. 2,000. And I'm not joking.
From Teddy?
Yeah. It's full binders full of 1995 cards.
He traded you one of yours for that or what?
Yeah, I traded him a big V. And the moral of the story. It's a good trade. When you go hunting, bring a bow.
Wow, it's like the beads for the...
He's like,
you know?
let it break.
Sometimes the kids did things that didn't quite make sense to adults, and sometimes it was hard not to intervene, especially where safety was concerned.
You guys are really going at it.
We're like real warriors.
Most of these guys are in my spawn, and they're the high energy. Oh. They've got a lot of juice, and so it's that question of let it go. No, let it go. You know, and I want to see if they can work it out. And look at them. I mean, oh my God.
My son once told me with tears of frustration in his eyes that all he wanted to do was fight as hard as he can.
Watch the high shot.
But he never found a place where he could do that. Until today.
Not again, please, no more. I got a secret attack. Boom.
But even though there was lots of fighting, there were no actual fights.
No! She won't let me use the ball.
Uh-oh.
Now you can use it. Thank you.
So what stops a school like this from devolving into total anarchy?
Sit down there. He's like right there, Judy. Right there. Oh, Judy. Come on, Judy. No! Fine.
Instead of bullying, there was playful teasing. And kids respected each other's boundaries.
People on the trampoline, can you hear me? Computer club is happening in the living room, and jiu-jitsu is starting in the studio right next to it.
So kids have a lot of freedom here, but we discovered that there are areas where the adults do intervene.
Good.
Are you playing a game or something?
No, I don't play games. It's not allowed at school. I do, but it's not allowed at school. I'll use it as a tool.
Would you like to play games at school?
Yeah, I wish I could, but Handy said I'm not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
One way we're a little different than other ALCs is we don't do like this, like the unlimited screens all the time. It's used as tools, like screens is used as tools. Instead, what we've done is like we have this after school thing that's a gaming club that happens at 3:30 right after school today. So they just take over the studio, bring in their devices, and then they do gaming with each other. It kind of like helps a lot with keeping it be more about personal contacts and doing things together than just focusing on like individual games.
Do you play games at home?
Yes, I have a PC that gets 100 FPS, actually 500 FPS.
You manage to live and pass on your genes.
And I could and make games myself.
When I learned about the restrictions on screens, I had a feeling it wasn't a rule the kids came up with.
I like the freedom of being able to do whatever you want.
Freedom is great, definitely. Freedom is the good part about ZigZag.
Are there things you'd like to do that you can't do?
Like I can't do here?
Yeah.
I don't think you could do Minecraft Club, for instance.
No, they don't really like screen time stuff. That's one of the things you can't do here that I don't like.
Enjoy mining for diamonds.
Then I realized that the freedom of ZigZag isn't that kids can do whatever they want, but that they're not being told what to do.
Yeah, I got to talk to Elsa a little bit. She's been a little bit awkward today, and she sees all the younger kids out playing around, and then she saw like this little group of older girls in a corner, and that's who she really wanted to talk to, but
I figured that.
it was a little bit awkward just barging in.
Our oldest daughter was having trouble connecting, so I kept trying to encourage her.
It looks like AVT, but I think it's
Yeah, so you could do art at 1 and then science at 2.
Japanese club.
Or I mean, science.
Yeah, there you go.
But running to mom and dad is not what she wanted to do.
Oh yeah, like, is there like different like spawns?
Yeah, so each facilitator leads one. So like that big group breaks up into like 8 little groups, and to just check in and be like, hey, what do you want to do today? And then also to check in at the end of the day, like if it wasn't a good day or if there was a conflict, to just kind of like be on the same page and to just share what you enjoyed in your day too. So
Yeah, I didn't know about like the morning.
Yeah.
In the end, she worked it out in her own way.
Is the lines cover open? Oh, there we go. You got it. Okay, I see the little red dot. That means it's recording, right? You cannot film outside because our cameras make it wet.
That's true.
It don't work anymore.
That's true.
Record the talking.
Oh, well, okay. It's just it's just for decoration. You know what a clutch says. Do you know what a clutch says?
Yeah, so you like stick shift cars?
Well, yes.
All theory aside, there's really only one question on my mind. How do they turn out?
It's really scary. I'm constantly questioning my choices as a parent. Some of parents' concerns are like, well, what if my kid's not taking any of the classes? Or, you know, what if my kid spends all day outside playing in the fire? Sometimes in theory, like, things sound so great, but then in practice, they might not turn out the way you want them to be.
Do you know what this is? It's a planetary gear system.
Oh yeah, the gears like rotate while they're turning.
Right.
What I want to do whenever I grow up is a lot of things related to science and technology and stuff. So robotics engineer, rockets, coding, chemist, just things like that.
This is the side where the motor goes. So there's the sun gear goes in the middle. Is pretty straightforward. Yep.
I've taken apart lots of things.
I'm applying to the new media program at UNCA. I'm really into coding and like web design and VR and AI. I'm really interested in like making a career out of that. A lot of people think, oh, you're unskilled, you'll never get into college. I'm making it happen.
I went to public school and I didn't know what I wanted to do after I graduated because I didn't have the freedom to like make my own choices.
I like just being able to learn whatever I want to. I'm really into environmental sciences. Yeah, ornithology, ecology, environmental toxicology. Yeah, I'm interested in everything.
I have this all planned out. Working here, then maybe working at like a different place, like Chick-fil-A or something, while also doing YouTube so I can get more income and then invest.
In this case, they're using hydrofluoric acid to enrich the gasoline to turn it into premium gasoline. So what do you want to do when you grow up?
A couple of things I haven't really decided 100% yet. And besides, that's a long way off. At least 10 more years.
At the end of the day, I didn't know how these kids were going to turn out, especially since the future itself is so uncertain. All I know is what I saw. And I saw kids already taking charge of their own lives.
What'd you guys find?
We found a secret staircase.
Hank saw this set of stairs that looked like a set of vines. We started digging it up, and so I went up and I grabbed some shovels. And then we started building a dam and planning out how we're gonna drain this and see what's down there.
The most incredible moments I witnessed were unplanned. They never would have happened if the kids had been stuck in class or busy with homework.
Oh, cool. This is a much stronger dam than the last time I saw it.
It's a hidden room.
I mean, it could totally be a hidden room. It could be a hidden room. It could be a cellar. I don't know.
With no other agenda, kids were free to pursue their own interests, whether it was fighting, building, surviving, making money, or making friends.
We're almost there, guys.
They even discovered things that the adults didn't know about.
Dude, we found a rock with letters and like symbols on it.
Come on, we're gonna walk it on. What if this is evidence of a secret civilization under the ZigZag?
And it made me wonder, if I had had this freedom as a child, what would I have done?
It's really hard for us to trust kids because as kids we were not trusted.
Colombia. There's a storm in Colombia.
Maybe.
But what if it turns out that we could have been trusted all along?
We're leaving, guys.
Oh, I don't want to eat.
Even now, I wonder if it's possible to turn things around so everyone can be as free and happy as the kids at ZigZag.